Hello and welcome to Let Me Be Your Game Guide. This is a little bonus episode about a little demo games. Join us as we preview games and share our first impressions for the remainder of this episode. Let me be your demo guide. And welcome back to the 12 Days of Christmas. Is that what we call it? 12 Days of Christmas?
12 Days of Demos.
12 Days of Demos. Welcome back to the 12 Days of Demos. I'm your host, Borky Big. Today with me are Emma and Sean, here to bring you some demo goodness. This is day 9. 9 maids and
ladies dancing.
9 ladies dancing.
Sorry, I really
Nine
my
nannies
throat.
napping.
9 nannies napping. Thank you. And Emma's got a demo to talk with us about today.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this one.
Ooh.
I'm hyped.
Ooh, hype train.
I think that everyone should go wishlist this game immediately after I describe it. If it sounds like something you're interested in. This type of game might not be interesting to everybody, but it's like a world builder. I don't know what they're called.
Like a sandbox?
Maybe. It's like a city builder. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
It's a city
Okay.
builder. Yeah. So it's called Dawnfolk, and it was developed by Darren Keller and published by Astrological. I guess it's not published quite yet. It's not out yet. But it's going to be available on PC, Mac, and Switch. The release date is to be announced, and price is unknown because it's not out yet. But in a world now shrouded in darkness, you must help return the light to your realm in this survival city builder. So I started playing the demo, loved it, and the cool thing about it is there's going to be a ton of different play styles and there's a ton of different levels. So it sounds like there's going to be like a puzzle play style or a story play style. I think it's not all like completely finished yet, but basically I'm going to read what I wrote down as a little description. Yeah. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember writing this, so hopefully it's good. With your help, with the help of Lure, and I think that's how you say it. He has a little bit of an accent, and it sounds a lot better when he says it. But it's like a little flame, like a little fire spirit, and her name.
Oh, like in Howl's Moving Castle.
Sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And her name is Lure. Lure. It sounds so much better when he says it. Anyways, you will use your science, light, people, and resources to build your city and relight the realm. As you begin, you start with a main home, and to increase the population, you build tents that you can eventually upgrade to houses. So, of course, the more tents you have, the more people you have. But the more people you have, the more food you need. So you also need to build some fields. And basically, it's so hard to explain. I wish I could show everyone a picture.
So there's like some management, it sounds like.
Yeah. And so certain buildings that you build will also have proximity bonuses. So if you build your tents right next to your home, like the main hub home, then you get a proximity bonus for those tents, so you get more people. You can build a mill next to the fields, and you'll get a proximity bonus and earn more resources, like food resources. There's forest squares. I guess I should have described it set up like a grid, like almost kind of like a...
Like Civilization, kind of like the hexagonal grids?
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of like that. And each grid is its own type of space. So there's fields that you can build buildings and like tents on. There's forests that you can build.
Lumber mills?
It's like a lumber mill. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can cut down the wood in the forest and then put a lumber mill by it, and that'll make it so people can go out and like hunt the woods and like collect the resources from the woods. There's also little mini games when you do these things. So if you click on a square and you want to chop down the wood, there's like a little chopping motion that you do. Huh. Or sometimes there's deer inside the woods and you'll want to go and you hunt them. So when you do the hunting mini game, the deer are running across the little square and you have to shoot them kind of like asteroids.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't hunt the deer, if you just leave them there, then wolves can like overtake that area because they start to hunt the area. So then you have to go and kill the wolves because no one can go and collect resources until they're gone. You also, as you're doing all of this, you're slowly earning light. And so you use the light that you gain to unlock the dark squares.
Okay, so you can make your like empire or whatever bigger.
Yeah, so you can kind of spread out, and it's going day by day, so you can like fast forward days to like build up resources or build up light. And then there's other buildings you can build that collect more light, like a church. And if you build a church by a tent or a house, it'll get a proximity bonus and get more light because it's around people. Yeah, there's mountain squares where you can build observatories, I think is what it's called. And those get proximity bonuses from dark squares. So if you leave the squares around the observatory dark and don't light them, then you get proximity bonuses from that. And eventually, it'll start to rain. And when it starts to rain, that means a storm is coming, and you have to collect all your light because once the storm shows up, you have to use your light to fight off this storm from slowly destroying all of your realm that you've built. And so Lure helps you kind of along this first level, and it's like a tutorial. And then the darkness, like the storm, is kind of like it seems like a similar kind of like Lure, but like dark, and you don't really see it. It's kind of mysterious. But I had so much fun. It was just something that like I felt like I could sit and play for a really long time, just being really strategic. You had to be really strategic about what squares you unlocked and what you built on each square. And you can you can knock down a building if you feel like you don't want it anymore and kind of collect some resources from that. But I'm really excited for it to come out. It was just really fun to play. It was very minimalistic, very simple. I joined his Patreon just to see some updates. Sorry. Oh, the developer Darren Keller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he used to work for Ubisoft. I don't know how you actually say it. Is it Ubisoft?
I don't know.
Some people say Ubisoft and some people say Ubisoft.
I'm going to call it Ubisoft.
Ubisoft. On his Twitter, it says that he used to work for them, but he left so he could go
do his thing.
Yeah, build this. And so
like with the rain and the storm, like, and then you fight off the storm, and then what? You just keep going until the next storm?
Yes.
So is it like survive as long as you can kind of thing? Okay.
Yeah. Well, and then the way this level kind of worked, it was like once I had built up enough resources, I was able to, it was like, okay, we've done enough. Like, let's move on to the next level. So, and then you'd go to a next level, which has different terrain, some different challenges.
Oh, okay.
Of
so it like kind of builds on itself as you go. Oh, neat.
Yeah. And so I think there's actually 2 levels available.
So the game's not out yet.
No.
Do we have an expected?
No, it's just TBA. But I also, after joining the Patreon, I joined like the playtesters. Like,
cool.
I don't know if he'll need, it's kind of late in the game, so I don't know if he'll need anyone to play test it, but I did like send a little request to see if I could play test the game.
You had a good time.
I thought it was really fun. There are some little mini games when you're fighting off the storm. So like a little tornado will show up, and the basically there's like a little sword in the middle of the square when you're fighting it off, and things will be coming from north, south, east, west, and you have to make sure that your sword is pointing.
It's like hitting them, yeah.
Yeah, so there's just like a bunch of little mini games. It's just very quick. It's not like a slow burn game. You're always doing something.
Yeah. It sounds like kind of like, I don't know, like maybe a little bit like addicting. Like there's always like one little more thing to do, like make this a little bit more efficient. Yeah.
Yeah. And it seems like with those little mini games, it keeps you engaged. Cause like in Civilization, you can go for days and it's just like, okay, the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So that kind of keeps you engaged with the game.
Yeah. It sounds to me like kind of like Age of Empires where you have like, especially when you're like talking about putting the lumber camps closer to the forest, like, but maybe without like the other kingdoms where you have to fight against, you just are trying to get ready for the storm.
Yeah, so I thought it was fun. Yeah, cool. You can also catch light. Occasionally you'll come across like a big hole in the ground that like light comes out of. So once enough time has gone by, you can play a mini game where you have a little jar and you have to try and catch all the light. Yeah, it was just really simple, really cute. I'm really excited for it to come out.
Cool. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if you guys want to go play the demo is amazing.
Dawnfolk.
Dawnfolk, yes.
Dawnfolk.
DAWNFOLK.
Join us tomorrow for the next demo of 12 Days of Demos. Give the podcast 5 stars if you liked what you heard. You can email us with any comments, questions, or constructive criticism at letmebeyourgg@gmail.com. You can also send us any game requests if there is something you would like us to review. You can find us on Instagram at letmebeyourgg, and our Patreon can be found at patreon.com/letmebeyourgg. Thank you for listening. We can't wait to see you tomorrow, and thank you so much for letting me be your demo guide. GG, y'all.
Bye.